Now, what about forged pistons? When it comes to forged pistons, we have two main alloys, the 4032 and the 2618. The 4032 has around 11% of silicon in it. That doesn't mean it's a hyper-authentic piston, but it means that it does expand less than a lower content alloy, such as the 2618, which usually has around only 1 to 2% of silicon in it. But the main difference between these two is that 2618 is the ultimate option when it comes to extreme racing application. You can take a 2618 forged piston, get a hammer, and smash it as many times as you want. This piston will not break apart. It will just deform from the hammer impacting. But this also means that the 2618 expands the most when it comes to exposure to heat. And it means that the 2618 also has a pretty hard piston to wall clearance. This means that it also has the most increased wear when it comes to cold starts. On the other hand, the 4032 is sort of a compromise. It's trying to give you the benefits of the forged piston and while trying not to expand too much under the heat and trying to minimize piston slap. So what you're basically doing here is trading off longevity for maximum power potential. The more maximum power potential you have, the less of longevity you're going to have. So here's a little chart that's going to help us put things into perspective. And this little chart is going to help us understand what kind of pistons we should use for all the different kinds of engine building possibilities. Now we live in a day and age when we turbocharge pretty much everything. And often we are going to hear the word forged pistons in the same sentence as the word turbo. And many people today decide to go for forged pistons when building a turbocharged engine. And then they also end up daily drivers that car having multiple cold starts every day, going to work with the car, going shopping, and occasionally go to a racetrack or to a drag strip. And while it's really cool to be able to say I have a forged piston in my engine, using them in a daily driver can mean that you're actually harnessing more of the disadvantages of the forged piston instead of harnessing their actual advantages. If you have some of the greatest turbocharged engines that come turbocharged from the factory, you will see that many of them have cast pistons in them. And while in the internet, people may try to convince you that cast pistons are actually made from biscuits, they're really not. Modern good cast pistons made in the last 2-3 decades, especially the OEM ones, are made using modern, very complex casting methods that result in very good end products. And if your tune is good and your turbo engine, if you have knock monitoring, and if you do everything to ensure that the tune is done properly, then cast pistons might be the right choice for you. On the other hand, if you're building an engine that you're going to drive only occasionally, and it's going to be spent most of its time on a racetrack or on the drag strip or another, let's say, extreme conditions, then forged pistons might be the right thing for you. Because increased wear from forged piston doesn't really play an important role in an engine. That isn't trying to rack up big miles and other important facts. That modern forged pistons actually use advanced skirt designs, as well as some really good advanced coatings that help them migrate and increase wear effects of a forged system. Now, all of this means that engines are like shoes. Shoes are about occasions. If you're going to wear sports shoes to a formal dress event, engines are the same way, but they're all about application. How often you're going to drive the engine and what kind of power potential you're looking for. These are the two questions you have to ask yourself before deciding which piston you should stick into your engine. Because using something that has large power potential and is race-oriented and putting it into a daily driver isn't really going to get most out of a particular piston. So you might be wasting it. And those are pretty much the basics when it comes to forged versus cast pistons. I hope this information helps you shed some light on the matter and it helps you make an informed decision on what kind of piston is best for you and your engine. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us. And so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and thanks a lot for watching. And I'll be seeing you soon with more fun and useful stuff from JA Racing channel. Wow, that's a lot of information, man. Now, all this means that engines are like shoes. Shoes are about occasions, right? So would you wear your sneakers to a formal event? Engines are the same. They're all about application. How often you're going to drive the engine and what kind of power potential you're looking for? These are the two questions you have to ask yourself. Before deciding which pistons you should stick into your engine, and it depends on something larger. You want something larger power, or you're going to be using it as a daily driver. So you might choose particularly and choose wisely what you use in your car. Okay. I hope this information should shed some light and on how you should decide which kind of piston you stick in your engine. Okay. So if you do have any question, don't hesitate to email us or ask us any questions, call us, contact us, or whatsoever. And hopefully we'll see each other soon about other great stuff. Okay. So goodbye from JA Racing and bye bye.